The crystalline ships appeared at dawn, their angular forms catching the first rays of sunlight and scattering them across Earth's atmosphere in a display that would have been beautiful if it wasn't terrifying. 12 massive vessels, each one larger than Manhattan, arranged themselves in perfect geometric formation above major population centers. Admiral Helena Reeves stood in the United Earth Defense Command Center beneath the Rocky Mountains, her weathered face illuminated by the glow of tactical displays. At 63, she had spent 4 decades preparing Earth for this moment, though nothing could have truly prepared them for the reality of first contact. Signal detected across all frequencies, Admiral, reported Lieutenant Kai Nakamura, his fingers dancing across the quantum interface. They're broadcasting in every known human language simultaneously. Reeves straightened her midnight blue uniform, steel-gray hair pulled back in a tight bun. Put it through, Lieutenant. Let's hear what our visitors have to say. The voice that filled the command center was neither male nor female, its tones resonating with an almost crystalline quality that matched the ships above. People of Earth, we are the Nexus Collective. Your world has been chosen for integration into our empire. This is an honor few species receive without centuries of petition. Reeves exchanged glances with General Marcus Williams, her second-in-command. His dark skin had taken on an ashen quality, but his voice remained steady as he whispered, "They're not even trying to disguise this as a peaceful first contact." The alien voice continued, "Your species has shown remarkable potential in neural plasticity and technological adaptation. However, you remain dangerous and unpredictable. The collective has determined that immediate integration is necessary to prevent future threats to galactic stability." Reeves activated the secure quantum link to the Emergency World Council. Representatives from every nation appeared on her display, their faces showing varying degrees of fear, anger, and determination. President Zhang of the United Asian Alliance spoke first. "Admiral Reeves, is Project Prometheus ready?" "Nearly, Mr. President. We need another 48 hours for full deployment." "You have 12, the crystalline voice announced, having apparently intercepted their supposedly secure transmission. "Your primitive quantum encryption is child's play to us. You have 12 hours to surrender and begin integration, or we will demonstrate our power in a way your species cannot ignore." Reeves felt a chill run down her spine, but decades of command experience kept her voice steady. "This is Admiral Helena Reeves of the United Earth Defense Force. We request time to consult with our world's governments regarding your generous offer. Your political fragmentation is precisely why you require integration, Admiral. 12 hours. We will accept nothing less than complete submission." As the transmission ended, Reeves turned to her command staff. "Execute Emergency Protocol Omega. Get me Director Patel at Quantum Research immediately." She looked at the tactical displays showing the crystalline ships' positions. "They think they've seen everything in our secure communications, but they haven't found the deep bunkers yet." Deep beneath the Antarctic ice, in a facility that didn't officially exist, Dr. Riya Patel watched as her team made final adjustments to the quantum core. The Indian physicist had spent 15 years developing technology that combined human neural patterns with quantum computing. Technology that, according to every known law of physics, shouldn't work. "Status report." Reeves' voice came through on a channel that used human brainwave patterns as encryption, something the aliens wouldn't think to look for. "Project Prometheus is at 89% capability, Admiral," Patel reported. "The neural quantum interface is stable, but we haven't tested it at full power." "Can it work?" Patel looked at the glowing quantum core, its patterns mimicking human neural networks. "They expect us to think like machines, Admiral. They don't understand that we've made our machines think like us." In the following hours, Earth's military forces moved with practiced precision, executing plans decades in the making. The public saw only panic and chaos, exactly what the aliens expected. But beneath the surface, humanity prepared its response. 11 hours into the ultimatum, Reeves stood before the Emergency World Council. The Nexus Collective believes they're dealing with a primitive, fractured species. They expect us to either surrender or launch a futile conventional attack. She smiled grimly. We're going to show them how humanity responds when backed into a corner. The crystalline ships maintained their perfect formation, their sensors detecting the expected patterns of a civilization in chaos. They didn't notice the quantum fluctuations building in the human neural network, didn't understand that Earth's apparent primitive technology masked something far more dangerous, human ingenuity combined with machines that thought like their creators. As the 12-hour deadline approached, Admiral Reeves watched the countdown with calm determination. The aliens had made a crucial mistake. They had judged humanity by their technology, not by their spirit. They thought they were dealing with primitives who needed to be controlled. They were about to learn just how wrong they were. The Antarctic facility trembled as Dr. Riya Patel initiated the quantum core's final sequence. Through the neural interface, she could feel Project Prometheus awakening, not just as a machine, but as an extension of human consciousness. The crystalline ships above had no idea they'd inadvertently helped create their own weakness. Neural quantum synchronization at 97%, called out Lieutenant Kai Nakamura from his station. His neural implants glowed faintly beneath his skin, connecting him directly to the facility's systems. The collective's ships are still maintaining their geometric formation. They're not detecting our power signature. Dr. Patel smiled. Of course they're not. They're looking for conventional energy readings. They don't know we've mapped their sensors using their own transmissions. She turned to the holographic display showing Admiral Reeves. We're ready, Admiral. Project Phoenix is online. In the Rocky Mountain Command Center, Reeves nodded. Begin Phase 1. Lieutenant Commander Santos, you have tactical command of the first wave. Maria Santos stood at her station, her neural interface synchronizing with the quantum network. At 35, she was one of the youngest officers to achieve her rank, but her ability to interface with the new hybrid technology was unmatched. First wave deploying now, Admiral. Ghost protocol active. Beneath the ice sheets of Antarctica, massive hangar doors slid open. What emerged wasn't conventional spacecraft, they were something entirely new. The vessels looked almost organic, their surfaces rippling with patterns that mimicked human neural pathways. They rose silently through the atmosphere, completely invisible to the collective sensors. The alien voice crackled through Earth's communications again. Your time has expired. You have chosen to reject our generous offer. Now witness the price of defiance. The crystalline ships began to power up their weapons. Admiral Reeves waited until the alien ships were fully committed to their attack pattern. Now, Commander Santos. Santos closed her eyes, connecting deeply with the neural network. Through it, she could feel every pilot in the Ghost fleet, their minds linked through the quantum core. Execute Pattern Omega. The Ghost fleet appeared seemingly out of nowhere, materializing between the crystalline ships and Earth cities. But these weren't conventional warships, they were extensions of human consciousness, powered by the same quantum principles the collective used but processed through the unique architecture of human neural patterns. The alien response was immediate. Impossible. Your species cannot possess this technology. Energy beams lanced out from the crystalline ships, but the Ghost fleet moved with impossible precision, each vessel anticipating the attacks through their neural link. That's the problem with being an advanced civilization, Santos transmitted back. You forget how to innovate. The Ghost fleet responded as one, their weapons releasing bursts of quantum-entangled energy that bypassed the crystalline ship's shields completely. 3 of the alien vessels shattered instantly, their perfect geometric forms collapsing into clouds of crystalline debris. The others attempted to regroup, but their rigid formation-based tactics were useless against vessels that moved with human intuition and unpredictability. In the Antarctic facility, Dr. Patel monitored the quantum core's readings. The neural network is holding stable. The collective's ships can't lock onto our vessels because they're literally reading our minds to predict their movements. She paused, studying new data. Admiral, I'm detecting something interesting. The crystalline ships, they're not just machines. They're alive. Reeves leaned forward. Explain. The crystals are some kind of silicon-based consciousness, but it's rigid. Structured. They think in perfect geometric patterns. That's why they can't adapt to our tactics, they literally cannot comprehend our chaotic thought processes. The battle above Earth continued to unfold, but it was unlike any conflict in human history. The Ghost Fleet moved like dancers in a deadly ballet, their movements guided by the combined consciousness of their pilots through the quantum network. The crystalline ships, for all their advanced technology, couldn't match the fluid unpredictability of human thought. Admiral, Santos called out, her voice tense with concentration, we're detecting power buildups in the remaining ships. They're preparing for something big. The alien voice returned, but this time it held something new, uncertainty. Your species, this is not possible. You cannot have mastered both quantum mechanics and neural integration. The computational requirements alone. That's your mistake, Reeves replied. You're thinking like a computer. We're thinking like humans. The remaining crystalline ships suddenly began to resonate, their formations shifting into new geometric patterns. If we cannot suppress you, we will simply remove you. Initiating planetary purge protocol. Dr. Patel's eyes widened as she read the energy signatures. Admiral, they're going to try to trigger a quantum cascade failure in Earth's magnetic field. They'd rather destroy the planet than admit they were wrong about us. Reeves' voice was steel. Commander Santos, execute Phase 2. Show them why humanity survived every extinction-level event our planet threw at us. Santos nodded, connecting even deeper into the neural network. Every pilot in the Ghost Fleet felt her consciousness merge with theirs, their combined human intuition and creativity flowing through machines that thought like their creators. The quantum core pulsed with power as humanity prepared to demonstrate why adaptability would always triumph over rigid perfection. The final battle for Earth's survival was about to begin, and it would be fought not just with advanced technology, but with the one weapon the collective had never learned to master, the chaotic, beautiful, unpredictable power of human consciousness. Should I continue with Part 3, where we'll see how humanity's unique approach to warfare and technology turns the tide against the collective? As the crystalline ships initiated their planetary purge protocol, the quantum core beneath Antarctica pulsed with an intensity that made the ice above sing. Dr. Patel's hands flew across her controls, her neural interface glowing bright enough to cast shadows. They're attempting to create a cascading quantum resonance, she reported, her voice tight with concentration. They're geometric formations, they're not just tactical patterns, they're components of a larger quantum computer. Commander Santos felt it through the neural network, the crystalline ships weren't just attacking Earth, they were trying to rewrite the fundamental laws of physics in their local space. All Ghost Fleet units, initiate Chaos Protocol, she ordered. The human vessels broke from their previous patterns, each pilot now feeding random thoughts, memories, and emotions into their ship's quantum drives. Dreams, fears, hopes, random snippets of songs, the pure chaos of human consciousness poured into the network. Admiral Reeves watched the tactical displays as the Ghost Fleet's movements became completely erratic. Explain what's happening, Dr. Patel. The collective's quantum cascade requires perfect geometric harmony, Patel explained. But our ships are injecting pure entropy into their calculations. Human consciousness is the ultimate chaos engine. Above Earth, the crystalline ships' perfect formations began to waver. Their resonance frequencies, disrupted by the quantum chaos of human thought, couldn't maintain the precision needed for their attack. Through the neural network, Santos could feel the aliens' confusion and growing fear. Their entire civilization is built on perfect order, she realized. They don't just dislike chaos, they can't comprehend it. And we're forcing them to experience pure human chaos directly through their quantum systems. The alien voice, when it came again, was fragmented, distorted. What are you doing? This is impossible. Reality requires order. Structure. Pattern. Reality is chaos, Reeves responded. Life is chaos. Humanity learned to thrive in chaos while you tried to impose order on the universe. Lieutenant Nakamura, show them what that means. Nakamura initiated a program he'd been developing in secret, a quantum virus that didn't attack through conventional computer code, but through the transmission of pure human emotional states. Through the neural network, every human connected to the system began sharing their most intense feelings: love, hate, fear, joy, all the messy, contradictory experiences that made them human. The effect on the crystalline ships was devastating. Their geometric patterns shattered as they were forced to process emotions and experiences their ordered minds couldn't handle. Several ships simply shut down, their crystal matrices unable to maintain coherence when exposed to the raw chaos of human consciousness. "Admiral," Dr. Patel called out, "I'm detecting new energy signatures. The crystalline entities, they're not just shutting down. Some of them are changing." Through the neural network, Santos felt it too. Some of the alien consciousness were adapting, their rigid patterns beginning to flow in new ways. They're learning, she realized. The younger ones, they're learning to think like us. The alien voice returned, but it was different now, less harmonic, more natural. I understand now. We thought order was strength. But true strength is adaptation. Change. Even chaos. In the Rocky Mountain Command Center, Admiral Reeves straightened. "Are you ready to discuss terms that don't involve planetary purges or forced integration?" "Yes." The voice held something new: respect. But not as the Nexus Collective. "We are changing. Those of us who can adapt wish to learn from humanity. Those who cannot, they are returning to deep space." Several of the crystalline ships were already retreating, their perfect geometries restored but diminished somehow. Others remained, their crystalline surfaces now flowing with patterns that looked almost organic. Dr. Patel studied her readings with growing excitement. "Admiral, the ships that stayed, they're reconfiguring their quantum matrices to be compatible with human neural patterns. They want to sync with our network. First, they tried to destroy us," Santo said, "then they tried to control us. Now they want to learn from us. Should we trust them?" Reeves considered for a long moment. Humanity has always grown by facing new challenges and adapting. If they're genuinely willing to learn and change, we should be willing to teach. She opened a channel to the remaining ships. "We accept your request for cultural exchange, but on equal terms. No more talk of integration or control." "Agreed," the voice replied, now sounding almost human in its emotion. "We offer our quantum technology freely, in exchange for learning the one thing we never mastered: how to embrace chaos and change." As the crisis subsided, Santos felt something through the neural network, a new kind of consciousness joining the human chorus, crystalline minds learning to think with human flexibility while maintaining their own unique strengths. First contact had nearly led to Earth's destruction. Instead, it had forged something unprecedented, a partnership between ordered crystal and chaotic flesh, logic and emotion, pattern and entropy. Humanity had not just survived the encounter, they had transformed it into an opportunity for growth and change. In the Antarctic facility, Dr. Patel was already drawing up plans for the next phase of Project Prometheus, one that would combine the best of both species' technologies. The future suddenly held possibilities no one, human or crystalline, had ever imagined. 6 months after the failed invasion, Earth's skyline had transformed. Crystalline structures now floated alongside human cities, their surfaces rippling with neural patterns, a visible symbol of the unprecedented merger between human chaos and crystalline order. But not everyone in the galaxy approved of this new alliance. Admiral Reeves stood in the new Quantum Integration Center, watching as human and crystalline scientists worked together. The crystalline beings who had chosen to stay, now calling themselves the evolutionaries, had proven to be eager students of human unpredictability. Emergence protocol detecting unusual quantum signatures, Admiral, Lieutenant Nakamura reported, his neural implants pulsing with increased activity. Multiple fold space ruptures forming at the edge of the solar system. Dr. Patel, now leading the joint human crystalline research team, looked up from her work. These signatures, they're similar to the collectives, but more rigid, more aggressive. The pure forms are coming. The pure forms, crystalline fundamentalists who saw the evolutionaries' transformation as an abomination. They had spent the last 6 months gathering forces from across the galaxy, determined to purify their species and eliminate the human contamination. Battle stations, Reeves ordered. Initiate neural crystal defense grid. She turned to her newest advisor, a crystalline being named Flux, whose once geometric form now flowed with organic patterns. How many ships? 327, Flux responded, their voice carrying both crystalline harmony and human inflection. The pure forms have gathered every ship loyal to their cause. They intend this to be a decisive battle. Commander Santos connected to the neural network, now enhanced by crystalline quantum processors. Through it, she could feel the presence of both human and evolutionary pilots, their combined consciousness creating patterns that would have been impossible for either species alone. Ghost fleet deploying, she reported. New hybrid ships are responding perfectly to dual species and neural input. The enemy fleet emerged from fold space in perfect geometric formation, a sight that would have terrified Earth 6 months ago. Now, it seemed strangely primitive, limited by its own rigidity. They still think in straight lines, Santos observed. Even after everything they've seen us do. The pure form's transmission was predictably harmonic, devoid of any emotion. Abominations and primitives, you have corrupted the perfect order of our species. You will be cleansed. Dr. Patel monitored the quantum readings as the enemy fleet began their attack. Their technology is more advanced than what the collective originally used against us, but their thinking hasn't evolved. They're still trying to impose perfect geometric patterns on an inherently chaotic universe. The battle that followed demonstrated just how much humanity and the evolutionaries had learned from each other. The hybrid fleet moved with impossible grace, combining human intuition with crystalline precision. When the pure forms attempted to establish quantum resonance fields, they found their perfect patterns disrupted by controlled bursts of human chaos. They cannot comprehend what we've become, Flux observed, their crystalline form shimmering with excitement, an emotion they had learned from humans. The pure forms believe that mixing our species has weakened us both. They cannot see that it has made us stronger. The enemy fleet's perfect formations began to break as their traditional tactics failed. Some ships attempted to adapt, but centuries of rigid thinking had left them unable to process rapid change. The hybrid fleet, led by Commander Santos, pressed their advantage. Neural quantum sync at maximum efficiency, Nakamura reported. The pure form's attempts to hack our systems are failing, they can't predict or understand the patterns created by our merged consciousness. Admiral Reeves watched as humanity's greatest strengths, adaptability, creativity, and embrace of chaos, combined with crystalline technology and precision to create something entirely new. The pure forms had brought overwhelming force to restore their version of order to the galaxy. Instead, they were being systematically dismantled by the very contamination they sought to eliminate. Admiral, Dr. Patel called out suddenly, I'm detecting quantum instabilities in the enemy fleet. Their rigid adherence to geometric patterns is causing cascade failures under our chaotic assault. If they don't retreat soon. The warning came too late. As the pure form's formations crumbled, their ships began to shatter, their perfectly ordered quantum matrices unable to handle the strain of defeat. Within hours, the battle was over. The greatest armada ever assembled by the crystalline species had been defeated not just by superior tactics, but by superior evolution. In the aftermath, Flux addressed the surviving pure-form ships. Join us. Learn to embrace change, as we have. Together, we can become more than either of us ever imagined possible. Some ships fled back into fold space, their perfect geometries unchanged. But others remained, their crystalline surfaces beginning to ripple with the first signs of neural patterns. They had seen the future, and it was neither pure order nor pure chaos, but a magnificent synthesis of both. Shall I continue with the final part, where we'll explore the far-reaching implications of this victory and the new era it heralds for both species? 1 year after the defeat of the pure forms, Earth hosted the first Galactic Evolutionary Congress. Representatives from 100 spacefaring civilizations gathered to witness something unprecedented, a species that had gone from first contact to galactic power in 18 months, not through conquest but through transformation. The Singapore Quantum Spire, a towering structure of crystalline and human architecture, housed the historic gathering. Admiral Reeves stood at the central podium, her uniform now incorporating flowing crystalline elements that responded to her neural patterns. Beside her, Flux had evolved into a form that perfectly symbolized the merger of their species, geometric precision wrapped in organic chaos. A year ago, Reeves addressed the assembled delegates. Many of you thought Earth needed to be controlled or destroyed. Today, you come seeking to understand how we achieved what your civilizations thought impossible. Dr. Patel, now Director of Hybrid Technologies, activated the central display. Above the delegates, a holographic representation showed the evolution of human crystalline integration. The key was never about advancing our technology, she explained. It was about advancing our consciousness. Commander Santos, leading the demonstration, connected to the neural network. The assembled diplomats watched in awe as human and crystalline ships performed maneuvers that defied conventional physics, their merged consciousness creating patterns that were both mathematically perfect and beautifully unpredictable. We call it adaptive resonance, Lieutenant Nakamura explained, his neural implants synchronizing with the presentation. The ability to maintain order within chaos, and to find chaos within order. Every civilization here has mastered either one or the other. We've learned to master both. The effect on the galactic community was profound. Species that had spent millennia pursuing pure logic or embracing pure instinct began to see the possibility of a middle path. The rigid hierarchies that had dominated galactic politics for eons began to shift. But this is more than just a demonstration, Reeves continued. We're detecting new threats from deep space, dangers that can't be faced with either order or chaos alone. The pure forms were just the beginning. Through the neural network, Santos felt a ripple of concern spread through the hybrid consciousness. Long-range quantum sensors had detected something massive moving between the galaxies, something that devoured both order and chaos, leaving only void behind. The old divisions between our species, between logic and emotion, between pattern and entropy, they're luxuries we can no longer afford, Flux addressed their fellow crystalline beings. What humanity taught us about adaptation isn't just about technology or warfare. It's about survival. Dar. Patel brought up new displays, showing the early designs for the next phase of human crystalline integration. We're not just building better ships or weapons, she said. We're building a new way of existing. A consciousness that can face any challenge because it refuses to be limited by any single way of thinking. The gathered delegates watched as human and crystalline scientists demonstrated their latest breakthrough, quantum cores that could adapt their very physical laws based on the consciousness of their users. Technology that could shift between order and chaos as needed, powered by the combined strength of both species' minds. We invite all of you to join us, Reeves offered. Not as subordinates or superiors, but as partners in evolution. Earth isn't seeking to build an empire. We're seeking to build a future. One by one, the galactic delegates signaled their agreement. Species that had been enemies for millennia found common ground in this new vision of unified evolution. The rigid power structures that had dominated galactic politics began to dissolve, replaced by fluid networks of cooperation and shared growth. As the Congress concluded, Admiral Reeves stood with her team, human and crystalline alike, watching the sun set over the transformed Earth. Their planet had faced extinction and emerged not just stronger, but as a catalyst for galactic change. They thought we were primitives, Santos mused, feeling the vast network of merged consciousness humming around them. They never understood that being primitive meant we were still evolving, still able to change. Flux's crystalline form shimmered with what had once been impossible for their species, hope. And now we face our greatest challenge together. Not as separate species, but as a new form of life. In the quantum network that now spanned the solar system, billions of minds, human and crystalline, worked in harmony. Earth had not just survived its trial by fire, it had sparked an evolutionary leap that would reshape the galaxy. As the first signs of the approaching void appeared in their long-range sensors, humanity and their allies prepared to face it not with fear, but with the unshakable confidence that came from knowing they had mastered both the order and the chaos of existence. The story that began with an invasion had become something far greater, a testament to humanity's greatest strength, the ability to turn any challenge, no matter how devastating, into an opportunity for growth and transformation. As the new hybrid civilization looked to the stars, they knew that whatever came next, they would face it together, forever changed, forever evolving. The end.